Hey, how's it going, folks? So, it's finally the day to review the creatures for death. Let's see what this entails. The death creatures are pretty fun and interesting in terms of mechanics that they interact with each other. So, let's jump right into the card reviews for all the creatures of the Genesis set for the Death God. The God of Death, Melissus. Okay, so the first creature at 1 mana we have Fusing Fleshspawn. It destroys a friendly creature, and this creature gains health equal to that creature's strength. This is pretty bad. If it was health, it would be better. I've tried to use it. It's not good at all. Unless you're running a super aggressive deck, then this might be interesting because it gives you a pretty powerful creature to stay on the board for 1 mana. Like health, I think health would be better, although it would have the downside of if that creature takes damage, then it would only gain that the health that's left. I think that's why they put this with the creature's strength, so that it gains the full capability. So I'm putting this in the 2 stars out of 5. Okay. Next one. Catacomb Curator. Obliterate a card in your hand. Afterlife, draw a card. Terrible. This is a terrible card. Because obliterating cards in your hand, it's okay if you can choose, and in this case you can. But just a 1-2, if it was a 1-2 withdraw card, it would be pretty good. But since you have to obliterate a card in your hand and you don't gain any benefits from doing that, I would say this also goes in the 2 stars out of 5 category. It's pretty bad. Next one, Siren of the Grave. This is a pretty powerful card, and it has been underutilized. I've seen this in play, and it's so freaking annoying. This basically gives death the possibility, the mechanic that typically only Deception has access to, which is putting the enemy creatures to sleep. And since Death has a lot of mechanics which allow you to sacrifice your creatures, it works pretty well, because this is a 1 mana. You couple this with another 1 mana spell, you sacrifice this, for like I said before in the last card review, the one with the spells, if you couple this with Untold Greed for 2 mana, you are putting every opposing creature to sleep, plus drawing 2 cards, and that's freakingly powerful. So this card definitely goes into the 5 star slot, and it's a pretty underutilized card, and it's a rare card, so it's pretty cheap. So I think you guys should go and fetch it and put it in your collection, because it's a really good addition. Next one, Contagious Goal. Pull the top card of your deck into your void. I've seen this going into play with the reanimate decks. It's pretty good. It's a way to move cards into your void if that's your thing, and you want to like be summoning cards from. Even though it's kind of a combo deck and a meme deck, it works sometimes. Other times it doesn't work at all. So I would say this card has to go into the 3 out of 5 stars slot. It's okay. It's not good. It's not bad. It's okay. Next, Fanatic of Coon. This is a staple in every death control deck, because you want to get to the late mana stage super fast. So it unlocks a mana lock, and with death you don't care about the opponent having that amount of mana as well, because once you get to after you get to the 6 mana, to the 6 and 7 mana, I would say just 6 mana locks, you're pretty much fine and you can deal with anything, because afterwards you're gonna get to 7 and you have board clears for everything. So this card definitely goes onto the 4 out of 5 stars category. Next one, Burning Scarab. Both players draw 2 cards. Afterlife, and it's an Anubian. It's interesting. It works well with Anubian decks with Afterlife. It draws 2 cards. If you don't have cards in your hand, it's pretty good. But other than that, it's you're paying 2 mana for that for a 1/1. Unless the effect's really good, it's typically understated in my opinion. So I would put this in the 3-star category. It's not good. It's not bad. It's okay. Next one, Sarcophagus. Sarcophagus is pretty good because it's super annoying. You can do some crazy combos with this. Burn 2, Afterlife summon another random Anubian from your fight. This and another card you can do from the core set. You can do some super annoying combos with Anubians. So I would definitely have to put this in the 4 out of 5 stars category. And it also works well with any sort of card that requires you to sacrifice one of your creatures. Next one, Wasteful Sharks. Regen 2 at the end of your opponent's turn, obliterate the random creature in your hand, destroy Wasteful Sharks if you cannot. This is okay, it's a 3/6. There's like a much better card that you can run, which is Pyramid Warden, and everyone runs. So, and this is death related. It gives you 1 extra attack, but the downside is terrible. It has regen too, but the downside is terrible. You're gonna be running out of cards super fast. So this card definitely goes into the 1-star category. Like, it's 1 star for sure. Super bad, don't run it. Next one, Pallbearer. Pallbearer is pretty good. Summon another random creature with Afterlife from your void. So this is where you see, compared to the Burning Scarab, drawing 2 cards is not that great, but like a 1/1, you have to have a pretty good spell. But this can combo with, for example, if you're running super high mana creatures with Afterlife, or 3 mana, you're bringing them back into the board. And that can get out of hand pretty quickly, so this card definitely is really good. I would put it in the 4, it's 4 stars for me out of 5. Reborn Feral. Give another Nubian Afterlife, pull this creature from the void into your hand. This works in tandem with other Nubians, and for example with Pallbearer, because after it dies, it's gonna activate the Pallbearer Afterlife, and then after that, it's gonna come back into your hand. It's a really good way of recycling cards in a Nubian reanimate and revival types of death decks. So 4 stars as well. Rancor Demon. Destroy a friendly creature, and this creature gains its strength and health. This is a really understated card. Even though I wouldn't put it in the 4 star, I would say it's in the upper 3 star types of cards, because it's leaning towards the good. Because if you can do some pretty crazy combos with this. But I'm still gonna put it in the 3 star category because it's typically not run. It's not run in most decks. Then we got Greed Bane Strider. Deal 3 damage to your god, the 3 mana 4/4. You're gonna see that there's a theme to these types of cards. You're gonna be dealing damage to your god, and they're overstated cards. Overstated cards in Gods Unchained are really good. But I would have to say that Greed Bane Strider is not good enough. The next card, one of the next cards we're gonna review is much better. If this card was a 5/4, then yeah, it would be good. But for 3 mana 4/4, lots of stuff can deal with 4/4 with 4 health. So it's pretty hard. It's pretty easy to kill, and you're basically gonna be dealing damage to yourself. I would have to put this in the 3. It's 3 stars for me. Next we have Omnipresence. This card is terrible because it copies the strength of a random creature in your mind, and anything that's random is super bad. Nature has a lot of random effects, but they're typically really powerful creatures, and this is so bad. So this is gonna have to go into the 1 star. It's 1 star out of 5. Next one we have Eternal Servant. Whenever you obliterate a card in your hand, draw a card, and your god takes 2 damage. It's a mean deck. If you're playing with those overstated the cards that need you to obliterate cards in your deck, okay. But other than that, it's super bad. So this definitely goes for the 1 star out of 5. Then Aerys Peacemaker. At the start of your turn, destroy all creatures. This would be okay if it was lower. For 4 mana, it's way too high. I wouldn't say 2 mana, because 2 mana can be put on the first turn. It's bad. And and we want to give opportunity for the opponent to kill it. So I would probably put it at 3 mana. If it's 3 mana, then it's fine. We might even you can even decrease its health down to, for example, 6. You can put it at 3 mana and decrease its health to 6, and it's still fine. And then it would be a good card. But I haven't seen anyone run with this, because you have a much better option with Death, which is gonna be is a core card, which is Dust to Dust. Other than this, because it's bad. Anyways, I'm hesitant to put it in the 2-star category because it's still a board clear, and board clears are generally good things. So I'm gonna put it in the 3-star, but it's the lower end of the 3 stars. So it's almost 2 stars, but still 3 stars. Vomitus. Destroy 2 other random friendly creatures. This creature gains +2/+3 for each creature destroyed. This works well with super aggro decks, and if you have like 1/1 creatures, then you're gonna be gaining a lot of stats, and it works well with those types of decks. Other than that, it's okay. But since you're only gonna be running Vile Mantis and in these types of aggro decks, super aggressive decks, I'm gonna put it at 4 stars because it's pretty good in those decks. So next one we have Crimson Oni, and that's the one I was talking about compared to Great Bane Strider. Crimson Oni is pretty good, and it's a really good card to run in aggressive decks because it deals 5 damage to your god, but it's a 4 mana 6/5. And a 6/5 worth of stats is super good. It's typically run with 6 mana cards. 6 mana cards are the ones that are gonna have like 6/5, 6/6, those types of things. So this card is definitely really good, but it's still not one of the best cards in the game. So it's gonna have to go into the 4-star category, upper 4 stars, but still 4 stars. Canopic Hoarder. Canopic Hoarder is one of those cards that works really well in combo decks, like the revival decks. Is a staple. You should be running this because it's not a random afterlife, and this can be really dangerous. Like if you have powerful afterlives in your void, then this can do some real good damage. So this is gonna go into the 4 stars. It's not creme de la creme, but it's the upper 4 stars as well. After this we have Amazon Art Eater. It's a really good card to run in a lot of decks because it gives you another type of removal, anything below 3 health, which is pretty okay. There's not a lot of like the early game cards, some of them have 4 health, but most of them are under 3, or you have ways of dealing 1 damage and then killing them. So this card's pretty good because it still puts a really strong static card on the board, which is a 4/4. If it was lower, then this card wouldn't be worth it, but since it's at this stage, it's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 4-star rating as well. The Harvester. The Harvester, a legendary card. Harvester is quite interesting because this is the first legendary card we have here in Death for the Genesis set. It's quite interesting because I've been I don't like this card, but I've gone up against it, and if you leave it be, it can get out of hand pretty quickly because it's gonna be dealing you 2 damage every time a creature dies. And if they're trading creatures left and right, you're gonna be taking damage like there's no tomorrow. It's not one of the best cards in the game, but this is really good, so it's gonna go into the 4-star category. And this card gains strength as it goes, as each creature dies, so it's become super good. Avatar of Death, it gets +1 strength for each point of damage your god takes. Deals an Afterlife, deals 6 damage to a random enemy creature. Another legendary card here. Is still 4 stars because there's a couple of legendaries. There are definitely 5 stars. Those are the cards. The legendaries that are gonna be 5 stars in the card reviews are gonna be the ones that you should not let live for 1 turn. Like if they survive 1 turn, you're screwed. But this one's not it. This goes on to the first category. Now the next card, which is Dread Queen Persephone. Now that's a card you shouldn't let live. This is a 5-star card for sure. If you let this live, you're totally screwed. Like after one turn, you're done. Like if you see this, kill it immediately. I'm never able to put this and survive it for longer, like until my next turn. But I've gone against people where I didn't have the removals. And like this gets like absolutely filthy, completely preposterous. So I say this is 5 stars, unicorn level type of card. It's typically not seen because it never survives, but it's super good. Then we have Death Dealt Netherine, destroy a creature with health 3 or less. This is a more expensive Amazon Art Eater, which is bad because it only gives 1 extra stat and it costs 1 extra mana. So if it was like a 6/6, perhaps it would be fine, but for this, bad. 2 stars. Anothet the Embalmer. I've played this, and this card's pretty good. It can get out of hand. It's controlled by the fact that it doesn't have... you cannot play cards that cost more than your total unlock mana gems, because if you could, then this would completely break the game. Everyone would run this. But it's still, because you're playing this at 7 mana, which means that you can potentially get up to a 7 mana card for free. You take damage, but it's essentially free. And in Gods Unchained, having tempo advantage on or being able to cheat that amount of mana is super good. I say that lots of people don't run this, but I say this is a 5-star card because it's really good. It's not like at the level of Dread Queen Persephone, like not unicorn level, but it's really good because it can go unappreciated, but it's a really good card. Because there's lots of ways to recover health with death, so you're gonna be fine. Then Dar Demolic. Leech Ward, give deadly to all of your creatures. This is fine if you have a lot of creatures on your board. But there's way better ways to clear the board with death, and you're definitely gonna be running spells instead of this. So this has to go to 3 stars. Lower end of 3 stars. It's not that great of a card. Last card, we have Aerys, Underworld Lord. And this is ironic that we have Hades as the last card to be reviewed here in the Genesis set, because Hades is the god of the underworld, and this is the death. This is the death cards. So Hades is whenever another friendly creature dies, summon a random creature with the same mana cost from your void. This is pretty good. It's not amazing. It can get out of hand, but it's not amazing. And it costs 8 mana. Like, I would put this a little bit below Persephone in terms of effects. And Persephone costs 6 mana, and this costs 8 mana. Typically, when you're putting 8 mana cards or 9 mana cards, you want to be able to put cards that have ward, for example, or have protected, that can survive something other than just direct damage. Even though this has 9 health, it's just going to be cleared with a spell, or it's going to take a couple of trades with, from some creatures, because it doesn't have protected. So this card is going to have to go, even though it's Hades and it's supposed to be the most powerful of them all in the realm of the dead. I'm going to put this in the 4-star category. I would be inclined to put it onto the 5 stars, but since for me 5 stars are going to be cards that I think are really, really good. Lots of people are going to argue that this is better than Anathep, but for me, I think Anathep is better because it allows you to cheat mana, and cheating mana in Gods Unchained is everything. And that's it for the card reviews for Death. I hope you guys like this card review. If you don't agree with the reviews that I gave out, please drop that down in the comments down below and give your explanation. Why do you think it's good? Why do you think it's bad? Have you done some incredible plays with it? And what type of plays did you do that give you that opinion that this card is good or bad? I would love to hear your guys' opinions. And remember, like, as the game goes on, as the meta changes, cards become more powerful or weaker or more powerful as the game progresses. As new expansions come out, cards that were previously bad might become super good because of different types of interactions or like a specific presence in the game. So this is basically a general review for you to know which types of cards are good and which types of cards are not, but you need to know that this can vary. So anyways, guys, make sure you smash that like button and answer the question in the description, because even though it's card reviews, there's gonna be a question in the description for you to participate in today's video giveaway. Bye bye, packs out, see you next time.